I'm very excited this morning to share with you this idea on how you can revolutionize your organization with SharePoint 2013. Now, just to put things in perspective, I want to clarify something. I'm not that guy. My style is better than his. So, here's what I want to talk about and have you consider. Right? We're in 2013, and there's this revolution brewing in the enterprise. The question I have for everyone is, are you all ready for this revolution? In fact, the revolution is here. Some of you are thinking, it's not yet here. No, it's here. Let me explain. These are the 4 tenets of what I call the enterprise revolution. The first one is this whole movement of BYOD, bring your own device, or consumerization of IT, as they would call it, right? How many of you in the organization, when iPad came out, every executive should have an iPad? It's okay, I won't tell you. And then now IT is having this big headache. How do I get the iPad into our AV, authenticate, like executive ticket and stuff? Well, what about your users who love their Android, especially the new Galaxy S4? How can I let them do that? But they're coming in with that stuff. Is that happening today? Yes. What are you doing about it? What about this idea of just the speed of how things move in 2013? The speed of business. It's so hard to keep up. Who would have thunk a video that was posted on the internet in July of 2012 by December of 2012 had 1.5 billion views that generated $8 million? You don't know what that is, that other guy's video? Just how fast stuff happens. I'm sure he wasn't expecting that. What about this other tenet of this enterprise revolution? We're now tasked to do more with less. Every time I talk to CIOs, executives, CFOs, docs, our budget has been cut, but we still have to deliver the same value, not only to our customers, but to our employees as well. You get that? You can't get your 2 new developers, but you still have to build all these apps for the business. You can't go to training, but I expect you to roll out SharePoint 2013 in 2 months on top of your day job. Yeah, I'm talking about you. The other tenet of this revolution is this whole movement of what the industry is calling social collaboration. Now, I know a lot of you have heard this buzzword, social, enterprise social. In fact, Microsoft made a big announcement in the last 2 days about the integration and the roadmap for Yammer in SharePoint. But I know a lot of you in this room are like shaking your head like, social? We don't want no social in my company. Wouldn't want a picture of their cat in the internet. People have a wrong understanding of what enterprise social is. That's going to drive the next generation of your business growth. Well, with all that being said, and I'll clarify and show you some specific examples from social in a second, those 4 things are going on today. The revolution is not only brewing, but it's actively engaging us day in, day out. And a lot of times in a lot of IT organizations I work with, they just seem not ready. They can't keep up, right? They try to put their arms around it and tell their users, no, you can't use Dropbox. No, you can't use that iPad. Use our stuff. Windows XP. I'm in DC. They still use XP. At least above it. That's what I taxpayer was. And then your user, they're like, it just won't work. It doesn't fit. You know, I have 2 wonderful children. My daughter, Annika, she's 2. And she loves toys. She's at the stage of, playing and all that good stuff. I'm just always disappointed when I get her something new, a new toy, box. She just opens it up. She doesn't read the instruction manual. and start playing with it. Right? And then after 5 minutes, if she can't figure out what to do with that tool, she gets frustrated. She gets mad. You have kids like that? You see that every day at work. What's the point, guys? The point is, we as IT, we try to fix this. We try to deal with the revolution. We try and throw them stuff. We're SharePoint. It's going to solve every problem you have. And they're like, sites, wikis, surveys, BCS, performance point. What does that mean to me? I work in accounting. You know what? I'll just leave it here, and I'm just going to use my handy dandy reliable tool called Excel and Email. Right? There's that disconnect. The revolution's happening. We try our best. We shove SharePoint to their throat. It still doesn't work. The problem is, a lot of our initiatives around this revolution is very technology-centric. I know we're all technologists here, but you know what? As my good friend Christian Buckman and Dan Bolt says, SharePoint doesn't matter. Business matters. Enterprise social as a tool doesn't matter. Business matters. I love this definition of enterprise social from Gardner. Can you all read it with me? In the count 3. 1, 2, 3. Enterprise social is an important method for enhancing communication, coordination, and collaboration. For what? Last December, I was advising a large organization during the rollout 2013. They said, that's what we take. This is what we're going to do. Do all our upgrades, we're going to roll out the site checklist, we're going to do newsfeed, we're going to do all the social stuff. I go, whoa. Why? Just like you guys here get silence in the room. Made me quite insecure being an immigrant. I feel like my English is not good enough. So I change it up. I go, ¿por qué? What do you mean, docs? I go, why do you do this newsfeed, social? Isn't that a new thing? Because my CIO says we gotta keep up, you know? We gotta do social. We gotta have blogs, wikis. Okay? What does that mean to Miss Sally in accounting who's crunching financial data at the end of the month? What does newsfeed mean to her? I don't see it. Y'all with me? Forgive my heavy southern twang, y'all. I'm from the deep south. Southeast Asia. So, what I want to point out here is when we talk about the business value, we're not talking about it just for the sake of talking about it. We have to think about our business challenges, our business needs, what the revolution brings, and then how these tools would help us. So I'm going to show you a quick video I recorded just to give you a simple perspective. You know, I talk about these big words, but that's show me a day in the life. What does all this mean? Okay? So I'm going to show you a quick video of a typical scenario at work. You're working on projects. Everybody's a project manager today. Although you don't want to be called that, everybody wants to be loved as a project manager. Right? So let's think about that. You're working on some project, big or small, and see how a platform like 2013 can help us.
Me and my colleague Alex, he and I are working on putting together a presentation for our boss. Thanks to SharePoint 2013, we're able to easily centralize and manage all related artifacts and communications for this project. On a typical day, Alex would start working from home using his Mac. We check his email from the browser and start working there. Looks like Alex is reviewing the tasks of the project. He has some questions for me about the project. Just by using the browser, he's able to instant message me using technologies like Link. One of the key benefits of SharePoint 2013 is the deep integration with existing tools that we already use, like Microsoft Office, smartphones, and even web-based technologies. So even if I am out of the box and still not in the office yet, I can easily respond to Alex on my phone and update my tasks. The beauty with SharePoint 2013 is that I can continue working with Alex once I get to the office. You just assign me a task on the project site, and look at what happens. It automatically shows up on my task list in Microsoft Outlook. Isn't that cool or what? Additionally, within Outlook, I can email the entire team directly using this neat feature called Site Mailbox. The Site Mailbox is available not only in Outlook, but it's the same Site Mailbox that the team can see and interact with directly on the project site. Site Mailbox also provides visibility to all the documents I have in the project site. So what do you think? Are you excited? I am. This is the new way to work together with SharePoint 2013.
So, think about that. Today, really, it's not 8 to 5 anymore at work. Just like Alex, wakes up, fires up his Mac, and starts working. I'm on the road, I'm on my phone. But as a user, as a consumer of this technology, it helps to get my job done. Easier, faster, better. Y'all with me? But there's another interesting thing about Alex, or about this dynamic. The way people work is changing. There's a whole new generation that as they work, as they collaborate, first and foremost, let's look at Alex. They multitask. They do 10,000 things at the same time with multiple devices, right? They communicate in real time. A lot of the nature of consumer social, I mean, a lot of people think social, they think Facebook. A lot of the characteristics that people do in their personal lives with social is being translated now to the enterprise. Can we handle that? Another characteristic, Alex works anytime, anywhere, with anything. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't have devices, he'll just walk into the public library. People today expect seamless experiences. It's not about a Mac, a PC, an Android, a Motorola StarTAC brick phone anymore. A lot of you weren't born yet. But they just want it to work. And then last but not least, which is a big part of how people work today, is they keep tab of who they work with. They keep tab, not necessarily on project involvement, but just what's going on. Right? Just, again, think about Facebook. You're actively seeking out what people are doing, but through your newsfeed, it's just coming out, oh, someone just had a birthday. That kind of experience and characteristics and involvement and engagement is now being translated to the enterprise. My question to you is, what are you doing about it? Right? So what I want to talk about for the rest of the time that I'm here, and I'll show you how 2013 can help you, I'm going to show you 3 specific steps on how you can lead this enterprise revolution in your organization. I want you to walk out of here gaining a fresh thinking around the possibilities. And more importantly, I want you to gain thinking outside of your IT box. So let's do this. First step to lead the revolution. The first step, you got to get everyone to collaborate efficiently. You got to get everyone on the same page right away. Ducks, aren't you doing that now with SharePoint? I mean, you give everyone SharePoint sites. Isn't that how it works? Well, let me ask you this. What do you think these numbers mean? Anybody? Quick guess, man. What do you think? Phone? No, that's something else, though. Because if it was a phone number... Nah, that's not it. That's good timing, thank you. I didn't pay her to do that. What do you think that is? Maybe. I mean, she might be right. What? Sir? Quick guess. Number of Facebook users? No. My bank account? No. How much money I have in dollars? No. If that was true, I would be here. random number, we're all right, we're all wrong, right? Okay, check this out. What's that? Don't you love it? That this product is a 12-year product, but the fundamental question people ask is, what is SharePoint? So, that's what I get for copying and pasting slides, right? What is SharePoint? And what do you get? 10,000 answers. Well, it's kind of like collaboration, it's kind of like reporting, it's kind of like document management, it's kind of like our public website. Ich weiß es nicht. I don't know. You see, the problem is, even if you think you're getting people on the same page by throwing in SharePoint, doesn't work. We should stop taking the typical fast food approach that IT will do with their SharePoint implementation. What are you talking about, guys? Here's how you do it. Again, marketing, how do you like your SharePoint? Survey, sites, wikis. You want to supersize it? Let's go VCS. Next. Right? The business won't say no. They'll take it as it is, and then what happens? It ends up being a big file dump. 80% of SharePoint deployments globally are nothing but a big file dump. Is that worth your investment if all you're paying for is a file share? Because people aren't on the same page. How do you get people on the same page, Josh? What if I told you these numbers are arranged in alphabetical orders? 8, 5, 4, 9, 1, 7, 6, 3, 2, 0. Now we're looking at it the same way. Everybody with me? So rule number 1 in getting everybody on the same page is, since SharePoint is a wide platform, it has to be relevant, specific to that business need. Our goal is to identify business solutions and not showcase features. Enough of, look at SharePoint. Look at the wonderful 6 pillars. I'll be hypnotizing you now. Enough of that. Don't use the S word. And I know it's easier said than done. As technologists, we're comfortable with that. Ooh, look at Power View. Ooh, look at HTML5. Ooh, like Design Manager. ¿Por qué? Okay, I get it now. So how do we do this? Give me an example. So I'm trying to get in my head because this idea of getting people on the same page, educating them, and making it work. 3 key points. When you want to get people on the same page and collaborate efficiently, is you want to address pain points. The biggest pain point in the enterprise today, while it's not complex, it's just how people collaborate and work together. Email is still the #1 collaboration tool in the enterprise. We are in 2013. Everybody has your iPhone 5, Surface Pro. You have GPS in your car and TiVo at home because you have to record Dancing with the Stars. And we use a 1973 technology to collaborate. Okay, how do you do that? Let me show you some examples. So I've got 2013. I brought up this little project site, right, that we looked at earlier. So I'm working on this project. It's called Executive Presentation Project. There's a lot of different stuff here. So, okay, now to talk about addressing pain points, what does that address? Number 1, I've got a one-stop shop. Like today when people collaborate, work on projects, everything's stuck in one person's email inbox, or it's in the network share. Do you agree? And then if that person gets a new job or doesn't come to work, that's a problem. Number 2, addressing pain points. One of the things people are challenged with is, it sounds fundamental, sounds very basic, but it's just sharing files, right? So I've got all these project documents here, so in fact, let me open it up. And by the way, as you can see, I'm on my Mac. I'm on Firefox, and I'm on my Mac. So, people want to share documents. So with features like previewing documents in 2013, it makes it easier for me just to look at, oh, that's a change control document. Let's see who's working on this. My colleague Alex and the admin. I can share it. I can push it. The experience is much, much, much better than prior versions of SharePoint. But wait, there's more. I should be on shopping network. But wait, there's more.
what if, we talk about pain points, but another key aspect of getting people on the same page quickly is you should allow them to utilize familiar tools. I said earlier already, they expect seamless experiences across the board. In their personal life, they're used to all these web-based stuff, that drag and drop, all that good stuff. Well, guess what? If you think SharePoint's not up to snuff, well, it is. So I'm in my Mac. I'm using Finder, which is kind of like the Windows Explorer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this marketing events document, Excel, I'm just going to drag and drop as a way to upload. You like that? Y'all awake? Again, address pain points, utilize familiar tools. Let me take it further. Let me go to my Windows environment. So let's go back to this project, and here's a very relevant pain point. So, in fact, we helped a company with this a few years ago. So there was this company we helped, they had SharePoint's big box there, so we helped them to utilize their SharePoint platform as a project management platform. Nothing fancy, because all they've been doing prior to this is email and Excel. It's a mess. So now the idea is to have a one-stop shop, all the projects to their SharePoint sites, and everything will be keep in sync, communication, artifacts, tasks, good stuff. Now, one thing I find out after talking to them, at the end of every month, project managers would send an expense report in an Excel file via email to, let's call her Miss Betty in accounting, right? So Miss Betty in accounting at the end of the month gets 100 Excel files in her email that she has to put in her desktop, put together a monthly project expense report. Do you know Miss Betty? I asked Miss Betty, I said, Miss Betty, how much time do you spend doing this? She goes, I've been doing this for 8 years. I spend about 6 hours total a month just to get this report done. And sometimes I have to do overtime. I go, Miss Betty, good news. What if I told you that I can help you cut down this business pain, and instead of you spending 6 hours, I'm going to make you spend 3 hours, 4 hours instead. Would that be something you're interested in? She goes, of course, but. I go, but what? I'll do that as long as I could do it in Excel. That's my tool of choice. I don't want to learn anything new. I'm retiring in 2 years. None of that SharePoint, whatever. I'm just using Excel. Now you know Miss Betty, right? I go, well, Miss Betty, good news. I'm not even going to let you touch that SharePoint thing. I'm going to show you a feature in Excel. So here's what's going to happen, Miss Betty. After I show you this, the idea is project managers can just enter their expenses directly on the project site. They don't have to send an Excel file anymore. And then it's going to automatically show up in your Excel sheet on your desktop. You don't have to deal with email anymore. Just cut that out. Y'all with me? Follow me? Okay, so, okay, show me. Okay, so, all right. So I said, okay, Miss Betty, here's the deal. So as part of an empty Excel spreadsheet, item, cost. Okay, so let's say we bought some tables for $300, very simple. We bought some chairs for $300, $3,000, whatever. Let's highlight that. Let me change it to the right format. This time currency, okay. Okay, so what I'm doing here again is I'm going to take this information, and again, nothing fancy, convert it to what's called an Excel table. And as soon as I do that, voila, look at that, publish and allow sync. Now, before I proceed, I want to say something. What I'm about to do is actually not a new thing. It's been a feature in Excel since 2003 and since SharePoint 2003. It's a 10-year-old technology, out of the box. So I'm going to take this information, and it's asking for where I want to publish this thing. So I'm going to publish it to our project site, because the idea now is I want this information connected. So let's call this the Executive Presentation Project Expenses. Okay, publish.
So as soon as I do that, Excel will call to that project site, create what's called a custom list, publish that information, keep the information in the Excel sheet, and then populate the data. So once that's done, let's look at it again. So I'm going to pull it up now. There you go. So that same information is now on the executive presentation project site. All the expenses are there. Okay, so how would this work then, Ducks? So let me go back to my Mac. So just kind of give you a little variety here. All right. So now the new way of entering expenses, project managers will just fire up in the browser, and it doesn't matter. It could be an iPad, Mac, PC, and they just come here and they can start entering their expenses. Now notice the project manager hit edit, and let's say we bought a car for the project. For those that might have just noticed something, is that the datasheet view in Firefox on your Mac? Don't you love it? In 2010, datasheet view only works in IE. You guys like this feature? One of the great benefits of 2013 is using industry-compliant technologies, HTML5. Doesn't matter. You got your spreadsheet now on your non-IE browser. So the PM enters that data. Miss Betty in corporate, as soon as the data is entered, an alert was sent out. Says, hey, somebody's just updating that, whatever. She fires up her Excel, right? And she can hit a simple button that says synchronize, and Excel will talk to that custom list, and once it's synchronized, voila, car 50,000. Now, Miss Betty was looking at the invoices and receipts. You guys didn't buy a car, you're jokers. You bought a carpet for $5,000. Not only can the data surface in Excel, she can update the data and synchronize it back. And once that happens, let me fire up this browser again and hit refresh. Now she has the ability to update the data that's sitting on this project site. Hit refresh. There you go. So let's do this. Now we're going to refresh, and you see it's going to say carpet $5,000. Now, do you guys like this? Who doesn't know about this feature? Raise your hand. I just made Excel social. We get too hung up on tags, likes, follow. What's the definition of social? Enhanced business coordination, communication, and collaboration for business purposes. Right? So if somebody asks you, I want a wiki. For what? Strategy? Wiki. After I showed this to Ms. Betty, she did it for the 99 other project sites. She created 101st spreadsheet. You know how in Excel you can have summaries and all that? With pivot tables and charts, you have to report that. So 2 months later, I talked to her. I said, hey, Ms. Betty, how's that going? She goes, oh, Doc, thank you. Instead of my usual 6 hours I spend in a month, the last month I timed myself. I spent about 3.5, 4 hours just to validate the data is correct in these receipts. I didn't have to deal with email, dragging, dropping, doing all those manual stuff. When you want to get everybody on the same page, when you want people to collaborate efficiently, it has to be about their pain. It cannot be about a list, a library, a wiki, a newsfeed. And here's something big. A lot of us want to force people, go to SharePoint. No. You know what's a killer app in the enterprise today? There's 3 killer apps everybody has to have or they can't live or work. Outlook, Excel, and Word. That's it. If you want people to use this SharePoint thingamajiggy, make Outlook, Excel, Word as your front end. That's a very low barrier to entry. People will use it, especially in this case. So Miss Betty said, I spent 4 hours now, so I go, wow, that's cool. So you saved 2 hours. So you're telling me you're not doing overtime anymore? She goes, no. You talk about business value. Miss Betty, she's happy. She's not doing manual stuff. She's saving time.
From a company perspective, she's not pulling in overtime. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. This is just a very simple example, but I want you to think about rolling it out this way. So, Miss Betty, what do you do now with the time you save? You're not spending 6 hours anymore. You have 2 hours free time. I learned how to use Facebook. That's not my problem. So you got to identify quick wins, okay? Don't get too hung up on technology. There's a lot of quick wins you can provide. So that's the first scenario, or that's the first step. To lead enterprise social revolution, number one, collaborate efficiently, get people on the same page, quick wins, address their pain points with familiar tools. And SharePoint supports all that. Heck, in the Excel example, even if Excel was 2003, I could still do that. The beauty with SharePoint 2013 is backward compatible to tools people use. Step 2. By the way, how's everything so far? Good stuff? Only those guys like it, man. Step 2. You have to be realistic. You got to manage it effectively. A lot of organizations today with their SharePoint deployment is a firefighting activity. When I work with organizations, it's always, oh, SharePoint, it's the bane of our existence. Users need support, they want to sign it. It's so reactive. No. As you know, SharePoint is a wonderful business platform, a lot of things you can do, but you've got to work proactively instead of reactively. One of the things that happens, so let me clarify that picture. I gotta fess up. My name is really not Dux. It's Dux L. My grandfather's Jor-El. My dad is Kal-El. I thought I was a superhero. I thought I could do it all. You know, I was a Windows admin. My boss said, Dux, there's this SharePoint thing. Since you're a Windows admin, on top of your day job, I want you to roll out SharePoint in 3 months for 5,000 people. Off you go. And I go, how bad did this mean? I'm a Mac dad and Windows admin. So I thought. You have to be realistic on how much you can do and cannot do. While we want to help the business, we want to help their job done faster, better, more efficient. Well, guess what? Everybody wants everything for nothing. And we as IT have to, can you handle, first of all, so you put in the SharePoint as a platform, that's great. But what about all this stuff around business engagement, right? Me spending time with Miss Sally or the project managers or the finance folks. Do you have not only the time, but the skill set? What about adoption? What about support and maintenance? Not just from a technical platform. What about all this? And that's one of the misconceptions organizations have with SharePoint, that you just throw it out there and life will be great. No. So how do you deal with this Dux? You know, the business has a lot of needs. IT is limited. But how can we deliver value? Are you in that boat? Right. You want to know the secret? I'm going to share the secret. The secret is to prioritize, okay? Fancy word, but how? So here's an example. Okay, here's an example. So we're out of DC. We have most of our customers are in the East Coast in the DC. So in our practice, we help implement SharePoint as a platform. We help IT prioritize and draw a strategic roadmap as to what SharePoint will be for our organization in the next 6, 12, 18 months kind of thing, right? So just getting their heads around what to do and not. One of the key activities that you have to do, and this is a simple spreadsheet, is when you spend time with a business. So this is an example of an organization we work with. It's an 8,000 people organization. IT just want to figure out what should we roll out first, what should we roll out next, etc. So we spend some time with the business. So on column A is the department. So we got operations, HR, finance, whatever. And when I say spend time, 30 minutes, an hour, I ask, what's your pain? Similar to Miss Betty, I talk about day-to-day business processes, very specific use cases. HR, So I heard this whole onboarding process you have, while there's a process, how you execute it is so manual. Anybody have, you all have onboarding process, right? Let me ask you this. Do you ever have a new employee that just got hired for some reason, just hangs out the hallway on their first day? Because I think forgot to create the login or desk one provision. Does that happen? There's a process, but how come stuff like that happens? How much does that cost you? I kid you not, in DC, I know of an organization, they hired like 30 contractors. There was some issue. For 3 months, they just sat in the cafeteria. 3 months. That was a long lunch. So that's the kind of conversation you want, right? You talk about what are some of the challenges. So they'll open up. They'll say, hey, Dux, you know what? We got this thing, we do SOP creation, and it's so manual. We grab the Excel file from the network share and email around. It's just a mess. We want to improve that. So as they're describing it, in column C, I have high-level listing of SharePoint capabilities, and I just tag what capability can support that business need. Y'all follow me? And mind you, what I'm documenting here is all out of the box. Out of the box. That's what you should start first. Out of the box until you can't do it. If you can't do it out of the box, next step, do third party. We have a lot of great partners downstairs. They have phenomenal products that can improve or supplement your SharePoint platform. Custom coding and development is the last resort. So if you have some so-called SharePoint expert in your first meeting, you talk to them what you want, and they say, oh, we can code that in Visual Studio, deploy web part, deploy a solution. Poser alert. Now, so the business goes through their business pain and challenges. So we map it to a specific SharePoint feature, HR, collaboration, onboarding, etc. And then, as we convene the meeting, I ask them, so operations, if there's one thing I can help you with, address right now, what would that be? Oh, Docs, if we can fix this process or automate this accident report reviews, that would be best because lives are at stake, blah, blah, blah. And then they prioritize it for you. They prioritize their need for you. Y'all follow me? Once we do this, now I do an assessment, an analysis. Here are the different departments, but now I flip the view. Here are all the SharePoint features I've extracted that would support HR based on their business needs. They need a bunch of lists, document management capabilities, libraries, versioning, blah, 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 alerts, discussion boards, whatever, right? And then I put a specific measure on the priority of that feature that will help the business. Lists and libraries will always be 5. 5 meaning very important. What's the effort and the size to do this? So to build all these lists for HR, it's a 2. What's a 2? If we scroll down, a 2 means it's 3-person weeks. Mind you, these standardization is based on my team's skill set, so that's going to change for you, but have some standard. What's the impact of the business? 3, it's high impact. Because if we automate the onboarding process for HR, instead of having 10 people hanging out the hallway, we can reduce that to half, and then there's a business value there. How reusable are these lists? 3 means it's very reusable. 1, it's only a one-time use. 2, it's only reusable for HR. 3, it can be templatized for the whole organization. So think about list templates, site templates, workflow templates, that kind of stuff. Now, what's the total business value? It's a 9. How did I come up with this? So I take priority, impact, reusability minus the effort. That's how important this feature is to HR. Is this helpful? Because a lot of times when we do this SharePoint thing for the business will just say, oh, I want SharePoint. You go off and try to decipher what they want and give them what you think they need or they want. But this makes it clear. Not only does it make it clear, it prioritizes it. The idea now is you bring back the business and say, hey, business, this is what SharePoint needs in our organization. And it's very critical you do this for 2013. It's a great platform, but it has more stuff. So now there's an understanding of the business. Oh, okay, so you're saying these lists and alerts can help my onboarding, and that's how important it is. Okay. But remember what you told me earlier, boss. I'm the Windows admin guy. You're telling me to do all this stuff on top of my day job. what is it going to be? We're not the ones to make a decision on what to roll out or not. I mean, there's basic stuff. I get it. But from a business value perspective, we facilitate that conversation and say, what is it going to be? We don't do this. We also have to be realistic of how much IT can do and cannot do. On the flip side, it's the IT view. What's the implementation impact to IT if we do all those lists for HR? It's a 1, maybe, I don't know, it's 20 hours or 3-person weeks. What about support impact? It's 20 hours a month. Training impact, what's the IT total impact? This gives you now a good negotiation point. Because now you're looking at this, HR looks at this and saying, oh, those lists are 9. We have to do it because there's high business value, but IT looks at this IT impact. It's a 3. Anything above a 1 we can't do this fiscal year because we don't have the budget and resource to do it. IT's job is to put SharePoint as a platform in place. They're responsible for that, but when it comes to stuff like this is the part where you ask for money and investment. Because we as IT, we don't do that. We think that everything SharePoint's out of our IT spend to a certain degree. If you clearly show the value of an automated onboarding platform to HR and they see it, they know it, but IT just doesn't have the budget for it, you tell them, hey, pony up. Pony up. Because unlike other Microsoft technologies, your Exchange, your SQL, or what have you, SharePoint is a true business platform. The business has to be part of this deal. You follow me? And then, after this, the business and IT talk together. I facilitate it. We come into a consensus. So one of the things I realized when IT and business decision makers are in the same room, nobody agrees. You just come to a consensus. Mostly with a check writer, right? This is a 3-phase rollout. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So all this was about 12, 18 months. But now it's clear. Why do we need these lists? Because it can help HR to do this part of the business. Is this helpful? You guys want this spreadsheet? Okay. Just come by and see me later, or come to my booth, and I'll send all this. By the way, I'll send it, whatever I'm showing here, I'll send it all to you. Just don't sell it. Okay? So, how do you manage effectively? Number 1, you got to prioritize, identify key business needs that you have to support first, and measure how important they are. Map it to key SharePoint capabilities. Okay, Doc, so great, I get it now. But then we roll it out, right? Like you said earlier, we have a large SharePoint deployment, but everybody's just using it as a file share. I'm kind of gun shy on upgrading to 2013 while there's all these fancy features. I know my users. They'll still use it as a file share. You see, with SharePoint, the hardest part is not SharePoint. Right? I love this quote from Machiavelli. He said, nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. What's the hardest part? Change. Right? So the next time somebody comes in and says, I don't like SharePoint. SharePoint sucks. Look at them in the eye and say, SharePoint doesn't suck. You suck. It's a freaking tool. Yeah, you're a tool. Sorry if I offended people here. Sorry. What we want is, once the platform is in place, 2013 has a lot of goodness, is we want, first and foremost, to drive excitement. And the words excitement, inspiration, motivation is not really on an IT vocabulary. What are you talking about, Docs? You're being Tony Robbins over there. You got to be the Tony Robbins of SharePoint if you want to make this work. You know that Excel thing that I showed you earlier? Very simple. Every time I show that to a business user, it's like the angels start singing. They get excited. You mean I don't have to deal with that email? Stop it. You got to do that. You got to inspire people. Other than inspiring people and driving excitement, you got to make sure it facilitates change for the good. I help this Betty at the same time. She can do more with less time. And past that, she was excited about SharePoint. After that little thing, she actually started using SharePoint on the browser and others. The third piece is, if we drive excitement, if we facilitate change, we can't do it all on ourselves. The idea is we should do a knowledge transfer in a way that we are empowering our people, that not only they can help themselves, but they can help their colleagues as well. It's kind of like the Amway model. You know, the Amway multi-level marketing. So that's the idea. So us as IT will take care of the platform, we'll take care of heavy lifting, but a lot of the, down the road, a lot of the typical day-to-day business needs that SharePoint can help, they can take care of it themselves. So how do you do that? One thing you have to think about adoption is not just the word by itself. With SharePoint and enterprise social technologies, when you think about adoption, think sustainable adoption. How do you sustain it? And sustainability means through time. A lot of you in this room equates adoption to training. Yes? Guess what? That's not enough. No, docs, we have a bunch of videos in our portal. Still not enough. You see, the purpose of sustainable adoption is, again, to get to those three results. It's to drive excitement, facilitate change, empower people, and have them assist each other. Okay, how do you do this? Number one, when you put together a sustainable adoption model or program, so let me give you an example. So I was working with I'm actually working with a large organization. They have upwards of 100,000 SharePoint users. We put together a sustainable adoption program for them. They've had it for a while. They had SharePoint for the last 5-6 years. And again, it's a big file share. Their investment in SharePoint is not being maximized. I met one of the VPs in an executive briefing, and similar to this, I did my thing for an hour, and she's like, Dux, we've got this thing for 5-6 years. Only today I realized the power. Can you come to corporate? I go, okay. So I went to corporate. I met with the other VPs, and IT was there. And IT was doing their job, phenomenal job, keeping SharePoint up and running. So I did my thing. One of the other VPs says, how come we as an organization, we cannot communicate this to our users to maximize SharePoint to deliver business value? IT says, we've done all we can. We have, power user training and user training. Whoa, one of the VPs said, what's power user? Who's power user? Who's end user? I'm the VP of marketing. How does power user and user relate to what I don't get it. And that is the flaw. All these trainings are great, but it's not enough. So you have to put together a phased adoption model that spans from 6 to 12 months, depending on how large your organization is. Number one, phase one, you want to drive awareness about the value of the platform. So, for example, if you want to go to 2013, how do you drive awareness, Docs? Is this like a pilot kind of thing? Not really, but awareness has to do with key decision makers, your executives, your HR manager, and just make them aware how powerful this thing is. Number two, once you have the buy-in, now you want an enterprise-wide buy-in. You develop relevant training, you develop relevant resources, you work with the business, right? And it's phased. It's not just one training, go have fun. You put together job aids, you put together lunch and learns, internal user groups. And third piece is you have to provide an engagement facility where it's going to excite, motivate you. And you have to work with, corporate communications and HR. IT cannot do this alone. I'm working at another organization now with corporate communications. We're putting together for the next 6 months, every month at the lunch and learn, SharePoint Idol. Yeah. People will showcase what they've done. We have judges, they'll win prizes. Another organization, what they did is they did SharePoint Olympics. They pitted each department. Every week they had an assignment from IT, and whoever got it right, the department got it right, got so many points. After 2 months, the department that got the most points, hold on, everybody had a day off. You want to talk about driving adoption? In people's mind, they're thinking they're just playing, but they're not. They're learning. Oh, I can do this with this other tool.
in 2013, there's a great feature called Communities that allows you to effectively do this. So this is my 2013 implementation. The whole Communities, it's a community of interest or practice site where, it has a lot of great features, discussion boards, but it has things like pointing. It has all the gamification kind of stuff, where you give people points, who's the mayor, who's the winner, blah, blah, blah. So the Communities capability allows you to drive better sustainable adoption. Now, what about this lighthouse? What's the lighthouse for? Show the light to what? To guide, right? To guide the boats. Today, we dread the G word. Governance. Right? But governance is a good thing, gang. We live in a great country, right? But we have governance. Constitution, traffic laws, parking laws. But for some reason, we tried that with our SharePoint implementation. Thus, we have governance, but it's still a mess. Why is that? Well, here's why it is. Here's how people have governance strategies or plans. They go to MSDN, download a governance template, fill in the blanks, email it around. Boom, we've got governance. Yes? Imagine if our forefathers went to constitution.com, downloaded a constitution template, and emailed it around. We won't be the country as who we are today. So my point is, you got to make this relevant and real. If you ask me, being American, I'm ashamed to admit this, I've never read the Constitution. I just haven't read it page to page. Anybody read the Constitution? Good for you. Bless you. I haven't, and so has most of them. And that's the same thing with SharePoint governance. How come you're not setting up your sites correctly, your permissions? We've got governance. Whatever. Make it real. Now, for me, what governance do I follow? I know that I have to pay taxes in the next few weeks because it's real, it's relevant. I know to stop with a red light, and I know I have to be at 10 during weekdays, or else I'll be in trouble with my upper management and my wife. So how do you make that real, ducks? To my users, to manage effectively, so I'm going to show you a sample governance document. It's a thick document, but I want to highlight a key area that I think we miss out all the time, specific to enforcing governance. Okay, so let me zoom in a bit. I believe in the index card or bullet point governance. So look at that site manager, roles and responsibilities. So as a part of your sustainable adoption, when you roll out training and expectations, you say, okay, as a site owner, site manager, that's what's expected of you. Forget all, if you want to read the thick governance, go for it, but this is what you should live, breathe in the SharePoint scheme of things. Y'all follow me? Because it's relevant. With great power comes. Spidey. Again, to lead this revolution, people should collaborate efficiently. We, as IT, should be able to manage that effectively. And third, especially with the SharePoint 2013 platform, the promise is we can win consistently in this enterprise revolution because through time we can provide value over value over value. That's like some 2011, right? But the question is, what does winning look like for you? Winning is different for one organization to another, right? That's why in a lot of organizations I work with, they ask me, so Doug, what do you think we should do next? We've got our portal, our intranet now. Do you think we should do public-facing site or records management or BI? Okay. Right? You have to be clear of your business need, but once you are, the promise of SharePoint is you can grow with it, especially with 2013. Maybe you start with an intranet or some project management tool, but the beauty of it, it interacts with a lot of tools we already know and love and use. Okay? So another example. So let me go back to my project site. One of the things that 2013 offers is every SharePoint site has a OneNote notebook built in. Everybody familiar with OneNote? Okay, you use OneNote? Okay? It's an awesome tool. Anybody use Evernote? OneNote's like 100 times better. Okay? So you know. So with its deep integration with Office, right? So what I have here is on my Windows environment, I have my OneNote notebook. There you go, ICC SPC. But that same notebook is open on the browser. I don't have OneNote client on my Mac. But so let's say in this project, I'm doing an off-site meeting, right? A lot of times you do off-site meetings, you end up recording, taking pictures, and what you do, you just email it, or sometimes it's too late, you just bring it back to the office and file some video. The power of OneNote is that not only can it take text, it takes all kinds of media. We're in a connected world. Now, by the way, what I'm about to do works with any mobile device. So I got that same OneNote notebook open on my mobile phone. Okay? So let's say, oh, I gotta show my boss what the turnout here looks like. You gotta know right now, and I need to document it somehow. I'm gonna have you take a picture. No. This is just this. Yeah, once we're done, I'll tag you with this. No, you won't be in the picture. So what I want you to do is stand here and just take a picture. Just press anywhere in the middle. I need to be in the picture so my boss can see it. Anywhere in the middle. Yeah. Good. Thank you. All right, so I just did that, right? By the way, what I'm doing here, at least this capability, is not a 2013 specific one. It's been here since 2010. It's an awesome, awesome feature. So I can take photos, videos, text, whatever. In a few seconds, it'll show up. Not only in this browser-based OneNote notebook, also in my client, and guess what? If your workflow's in, now it starts alerting people, hey, pictures there, blah, blah, blah. You can grow with it. Y'all with me? You guys use OneNote for that? I use this a lot for mobile. Anybody? Again, you can use iPhone, iPad, Android, iOS. I'll bring it back in a second. So you can grow with SharePoint. With 2013, you can rely on SharePoint to be a business critical part of your organization because there's a lot of great business intelligence tools built into it. Things like Power View, right? If you come to my project server session later, I'll show you Power View and how you can do great reporting. Apps is a whole new model in 2013. Not only allows you to build apps, but deploy apps both internally and publicly, and then line of business integration as well. Let's check, let's refresh this browser. All right. Didn't sync yet. All right, let's give it a second. Do I have internet connection? Oh yeah, okay, so it's doing it. Let's give it a second. So, 3 steps to lead this enterprise revolution. 2013 can help you with this. But you have to do it right. You have to allow the organization to collaborate efficiently. You as IT need to be able to manage it effectively, and you should be able to deliver value through time over time over time to win consistently. Before we wrap up, I want to show you this picture. This is very sentimental to me. This is a news clipping of the Philippine Dragon Boat rowing team in 1994 winning second in the world finals. Anybody know Dragon Boat rowing? Anybody? No? So it's a big Asian sport. Essentially, it's canoe with 20 people there just racing. They have in Hawaii, San Francisco. And I had the privilege to be part of the Philippine team when I was still living in the Philippines. I come from the land of Manny. Manny Pacquiao? So what's the deal with that picture, Docs? I was cheering because I thought we won first when we hit the finish line. 2 seconds later, I realized China won by half of a second. It's kind of fun. But never in my life that I've been so happy, so proud, so excited, and so fulfilled that all the hard work we did was worth it. Do you think we decided one day, hey, there's a world championship next week, maybe let's go and participate? Do you think we did that? Do you think we did that? No. You know how long it took us to train for this world finals? 6 months. Monday to Friday, for 6 months, we were hitting Manila Bay from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. I missed 2 practice sessions because I got sick. 6 months. The first 2 months, now prior to that, we were already doing this stuff. I was part of a Dragon Boat rowing team, so it's not new to me. But the first 2 months of training for this World Finals, all we did was jog. Because coach said we had to build up our cardio. We did weights some. I was kind of frustrated because, what? Let's hit the water. Let's start rowing. Coach said baby steps. You got to build up your stamina. You got to learn. And then the other disappointment was, I was all, prior to this, I rode on the starboard side. Starboard, anybody know what starboard is? Right? And then, we did a weigh-in, since like ducks, you're the skinniest of them all. So you'll be the lightest one to carry. Why don't you be the steersman? Your job is to keep this boat straight because any divergence can cost us time. At this point, that was cool. We learned. We trained. Good weather, bad weather. In fact, one time the Coast Guard had to get us because a typhoon came through. Yeah, our boat capsized. And then another time training, and I kid you not, as a part of my job as a steersman, I had to dock and park the boat. When I left the boat, I stepped on the water. There was a nail that came through my foot. Was it worth it? Oh yeah. A lot of hard work, a lot of pain. And we had to do it as a team. Because winning matters. Our SharePoint boat is just a means to get us to the finish line. How about you? Is your SharePoint boat the finish line? Or do you want to get to that finish line? Thank you, gang. Was that insightful? Thank you.